Hello and welcome to Flow Point episode 4. I'm so thrilled. I've been having such a great time talking to these wonderful flow artists in India and sharing our conversations about flow arts and what we have been experiencing flow arts as in our own lives. It's incredible. And thank you so much for being with me along in this journey and all I can say is I'm so excited to bring you today's episode because in today's episode, we're going to be talking with Sheena Dikuna. She is 18-year-old hula hooper and instructor, performer, and also a Harvard's world record holder for hooping. And she has made at this age already many efforts to bring hula hoop to the common public and spread the flow arts word. So let's go check her story and know a little bit about Sheena, what inspires her, what she finds is amazing about flow arts, and about her hula hooping life, which she began at only age of 4. Can you believe that? And yeah, she's a multi hoop artist. She's got some really interesting, amazing talent, guys. So without wasting any more time, let's go check out this interview with Sheena. And before we do that, a quick reminder: please subscribe to the channel. It's going to give me a lot of pleasure if you can, and like and comment. When you comment on any of these interviews, I can understand what is the feedback that I'm getting from these interviews and what do you actually feel about after listening to these interviews. And that is amazing. And that is exactly what I would like to know at the end of these interviews. I'm definitely having a great time doing this. And I want to know that you also are having a wonderful time listening to these conversations. So please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and comment. Thank you so much. Let's go check out Sheena's interview.
Okay, so my name is Sheena Dikuna. I am from Goa. I'm born and brought up here. And I've been hula hooping since I was 4 years old. And besides hula hooping, I'm studying BSc in Fashion and Apparel Design in JD School of Design, Panjim. And I teach hula hooping online. And besides all this, I am very keen about aerial arts. So I train under Kyutamo Goa for aerial arts. Like my journey has started since the lockdown, and I think, yeah, there's nothing stopping from there. So ever since hula hooping has come into my life, I've been known for it. Like everybody may not know my name, but they know me for my art form, and that's hula hooping. So like they just associate me with the hoop. So whenever they see a hoop, they'll be like, "Oh, I remember Sheena does it." And like even if I'm like meeting them after a long time and they don't know my name, they'll be like, "Are you that hoop girl?" So they kind of associate me with the art form. Yeah, and a turning point in my life, or like a really good situation, was when I represented Goa and Karnataka for the RDC parade, that's the Republic Day parade in Delhi. So I got a chance to perform hula hooping in front of different states, like almost all the states of India. And it was in Delhi. So we were having this Republic Day parade camp through NCC. And over there, we had people from all over India, and I got to share my art form with a lot of people. Yes, it was definitely my first time performing for such a diverse audience. So people were from different parts of India, not just like one state. So it was a really nice experience, and yeah, it felt very special to me. There's this another moment last year during February when I got the Harvard's World Record. During that time, I felt like all my efforts were appreciated because a lot of people got to know about me and my art form because of uh, the Harvard's World Record that I set. So during that whole phase where the thing got viral and stuff, a lot of people got to know what hula hooping is, that it's more than just waist hooping and it's just more than a sport or like a toy. There's so much more to it, like the diverse dance forms and things that come with hula hooping. So a lot of people aware about flow arts after that, and that's really amazing because I would really want to expand this art form to more people.
Nice. And it was really interesting. I also read about this. So Sheena holds a Harvard world record for hooping around the waist and on the bun for 3 minutes, the most rotations done, right? By hula hoops. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. How did this idea come to you that I want to break a record, let's say?
Actually, it was very random. I always wanted to do something that people would remember me for. And the goal was to do something before I turned 18. Because then after you're 18, you're considered like an adult and you're big or whatever. So I wanted to do something before I turned 18. And then the best thing I thought about was like, oh, I guess I should do a world record. It was the most random thought that came to my mind. I was like, okay, let's do a world record. And then I always just had a thought of it. I never worked on it. This one fine day, I randomly just set up the phone. I set up a timer, and I just did the bun hooping and the waist hooping together. And then I ended up recording it, and then it suddenly got like to 3 minutes something. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just send this for the audition. And then it went through, and I got through it. So I was like, okay. I don't. So actually, when I started off, when I was 4 years old, we didn't have access to a lot of technology back then. Okay, me and my mother discovered hula hooping all by ourselves. So back then, my mom started with one hula hoop. She bought me one hula hoop, and then she just instructed me how to go about it and stuff like that. So along the entire journey, it was just her teaching me. Okay, and um till I grew around 7 to 8 years old, and then we started adding more hula hoops. We started getting like two, three hula hoops, and I started learning more tricks with them. And eventually, till the lockdown hit, I didn't even know that there's an actual community online, and there's so much more to hula hooping than than what I used to do. That other people are also doing that. So for me, hula hooping online, like once I saw the whole community on Instagram, on YouTube, I was thrilled. I was like, wow, this is an actual thing. So eventually, as I grew up, it was never about a particular person that I looked up to. It was just my mother. It was like she taught me how to do it. So I never even knew there was an actual community or like hula hoop artists and stuff like that. And then it evolved into something that I really liked to do, and then it got something. So it went to something that I would, go to when I feel sad or feel low. Like hula hooping is my comfort place. I feel myself with hula hooping. So from there, then it got into my career. Now I teach hula hooping. I never even thought I would be teaching hula hooping, and I even do a couple of shows here and there. So yeah, it definitely changed over time, and now I'm full time online teaching, and sometimes I do offline workshops, and yeah, some shows. And now it has been, it's kind of like woven into my identity, where it started off like just a hobby. Uh, so one thing that stays constant is happiness. Whenever I teach, there's like a lot of happiness. Like when people get the form, or even if they don't get it, they're really happy that they tried it. So I have been teaching since the lockdown. I started off with just two students online because they were like, we want to learn something, and they were like really small kids. So I started with two kids, and now I have um, like 70 students online. And kids really enjoy it, and even they start off as like a hobby, and then they keep doing it, and then it develops into like their identity as well. So it's amazing. And I also teach adults. Last year I also did a workshop for the disabled students, for mentally and physically challenged. And it was such an amazing experience because I feel like hula hooping, you don't need don't need to teach it through your words. So that's a really amazing, and it always puts on a smile on people's faces, and that's amazing. So when kids learn flow arts, it really helps them with problem solving skills as well. Like um, it would also help creative thinking. When I have my students learn from me, I always ask them to create their own choreography at the end of the sessions so that they can be creative enough to create something for themselves. Because I don't think anybody knows you better than how you know yourself. So it gives you such an experience about knowing what you are good at and how you are good at it, how well you know yourself, which tricks work best for you. Yes,
Absolutely, it improves your coordination and your happiness quotient, and of course, it also, I believe that it helps you become ambidextrous, and by
yeah,
that you are getting smarter and more sharp, or like it's definitely like a great exercise for your brain and your body at the same time.
correct.
Yeah.
Very
Uh,
true.
what do you tell us more about your performance life? Like how is the experience of being a performer? And
Um, just like everything has good and bad to it, it's same with performing arts as well. There's a good side to it, there's a bad side to it. Not everywhere people would value your art form and give you the proper validation that you need. So I think you would definitely resonate with that. It's like everybody does not know the value of how much hard you work to get there. So there are some places where, when it comes to how are they gonna support you, some people would actually pay well. Some people would say they want to pay you with exposure, which never happens. It never works. So it's like there are a lot of sides to it, and for me right now, I don't want to completely focus on performing. And like right now, I really love performing, but I also need to see what target of audience I'm looking at. So there are many times I've been offered shows and stuff, but then it has a lot of dark sides to it, and it has a lot of good sides to it as well. So yeah, there are like a lot of challenges that come when you're a performing artist.
what kind of challenges you?
I've been offered gigs a lot of time. I've been offered shows, but then it they offer such a price where you feel like, oh my god, is it so bad that I deserve that amount or stuff like that? So it completely brings you down also, and it's sad to see that people don't really appreciate the art form a lot sometimes. But whereas some places they really appreciate it and they will actually listen to what you say and they'll do it nicely. Like they'll go ahead with it very nicely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'm still young also, so like this is something that I have come across for myself and it was a bit challenging for me. I am still working on it right now. I have still not gotten there completely. Like whenever I do get like a show or something, I'll always ask my parents about it. I need support still. Like I need to know if it's really good for me or not. And then yeah, I take advice from my seniors and stuff, and then I go ahead with it because I am still new to this field as per the performing aspect of it. I feel like the moment I do hula hooping on my own, I start creating new steps, new transitions, and spend that little bit of time. The self training, that is the best part of my entire day, or it really makes a lot of difference for me because I feel that is where I really grow. where I self-train. That is the most amazing part of being this whole teaching and artist point of it.
Who is your favorite flow artist?
Um, there's this flow artist called Sky flow artist. She's a hula hooper, and I think she's a gymnast as well as a ribbon artist. She flows with another girl as well. She is amazing. Like, I really look up to her style of hula hooping. It's very expressive, it's very contemporary, and I kind of resonate with a lot of her moves because it's very similar to what I do. It's a lot of contemporary dance, it's a lot of gymnastics with the hula hoop, and she does a lot of multi hoop tricks as well. So I actually look up to her style. I used to dance a lot before. Now it's kind of limited because of a lot of hula hooping going on. But then I try to bring the dance element in hula hooping as well, like that thing. That's where I did the performance, and it was Goa's Got Talent, and I was 11 years old back then, and that was the first time I performed it on such a big level, and I won, and I was competing against 60-year-old people and stuff. So that was the turning point in my life where so many other people got to know about hula hooping, that it's not just waist hooping, there's so much more to it. That was that one time where uh, a lot of people got to know about this art form, and it was really lovely. And ever since that competition, a lot of people got to know me as well, and then I got like more opportunities in future and stuff.
What do you think our role is as a flow artist right now?
I think expanding the community. So flow arts is like a really personal thing for a lot of us, right? uh how do you have flow arts? Like, how do you take it for yourself? Is it personal or is it professional for you?
Yeah, it's both, because I
It's
know that it does make me happy and it's something that I enjoy, and I know that I can also get paid for this. So
right,
it's hitting all the three scores. So when it comes to professional, flow arts did give me a lot of financial freedom and freedom of my time, that I could choose what I want to do with my time because
hmm,
of that. And because I had the freedom of my time and my finances, it also gave me a lot of self-esteem. I was proud of myself for being so unconventional and doing things which have never been done and straight out of my brain. And I thought that was really adventurous of me, and that was really like unique about me. And honestly, it really made my life, since it was a part of my life. Like, I could like choose flow arts to be the constant and then move on further to see where it can grow and what it can do. And where I am right now, it's definitely proven to me that it is healing, it is supporting, and it is very empowering. Like,
right,
not just the exercise itself, but also the how to say, self-awareness that comes with it, the
yes,
the confidence, the joy, the happiness that you mentioned, that is a part of it, that you're also sharing this with others, and that is also a part of this, that it's it's for entertainment, or it's for people to learn and share together and practice. So there's a lot of aspects of flow arts which I think is great for a human being's happiness. It's spiritually satisfying, it's financially satisfying. The careers, we are getting a lot of options now. You can choose your career, you can become a
right,
teacher, you can be a performer, you can have your online courses, so on. it's flexible. You can choose how much time you want to do it. Like you said, you studying and you're working as a flow arts instructor and
Yeah.
a performer. So it's not really something that you need to be super exclusive at. Like you could do other things and have the flexibility of also enjoying flow arts in your life. So I could go on and on, like how awesome flow arts is. And
Yeah.
this is actually the reason why I wanted to get on this interview, because we could talk about these things, because coming from our experience, we could say what we experience flow arts to be like.
Yes.
And I think that there's a lot in flow arts for people. It's chill, it's fun, like how Javed also mentioned in the previous episode, that it's really easy and it's so fun, you know and it doesn't have to be something like super intense and physically and mentally challenging. It can be just for fun, like hula hoop.
Yeah.
Think about it, like when somebody is like hula hooping, they're not like, oh my god, I can't do this. They're like, oh my god, this, I can't do it.
So
Like
true.
they're okay to find it funny that they can't do that. But
Yeah.
and that's an interesting attitude that you develop over time about flow arts, I
Yes. That's right.
feel.
So I think our role as a flow artist is to share this art form with as many people as we can. Because if you're not doing flow art, you're missing out on a lot. Because see how happy we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So I really think more people should get a chance to try hula hooping or the other flow arts like poi and juggling, and there are so many more. You don't have to look at who you are, how far, how thin, how tall, how short. You could be anything, everything. It's for everybody. It's not exclusive to anybody. Yeah. I know it because right now I have been teaching many people from India, from outside India. And it's not like you need to be a certain size to do it. A lot of people think like that. Like you need to be flexible or you need to be slim enough to do hula hooping or other flow arts. But it's nothing like that. It's all about just pick it up and just do it. Like, don't look at anything else. And once the people try it, they are like so impressed on their own self.
Yeah,
They're like, "Oh my god, I never thought I could do this." Like, yeah, girl, you got it. It's
yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. I think
Yeah,
I think I think those moments are really nice when you're like new to something, have no expectations, just gonna accept it as it goes. Really rewarding. Like you actually learn a trick. Although you've spent 3 days learning this trick, but once you know it, you'll
yeah,
know the whole life. Like there is no
yeah,
undoing it. It's like you can anytime do that trick. So
correct.
I think.
I think it really helps us to, this sense of learning. It comes a long way. Like once you start learning these new tricks and stuff on your own, learning other things are so much more easier and it's more accepting. You understand it so much more differently.
We don't really have let's say a dedicated space for learning flow arts for public. So what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like flow arts should really be introduced into um, educational institutes. I have taught in schools. I've taught in around three schools around Goa, uh, and it was a very overwhelming experience because the students really liked it. It was amazing. And when that is like the really right age, actually, when a student is like growing from like um, 3 to 13.
What are your dreams when it comes to flow arts? What more would you like to achieve?
I genuinely want to have my own studio where we have all kinds of physical activities included, like calisthenics, then aerial arts, hula hoop, poi, juggling, everything involved. You know, even dancing. And yeah, that's my dream, to actually have a studio of my own, to own my own studio. So I manifest it and I hope it does happen someday. Maybe if it's not physical, maybe I could also do it online. It does not always have to be physically. I don't mind doing it online as well, or both. Why not? So that's like a dream for me, and I'm manifesting it. Yes.
What do you think about the Indian community currently? Like, uh, what message would you have for them, or what would you like to learn from them?
Are you talking about the existing community in India?
Yeah.
Uh, till now, I think flow arts is still small in India. Like, it's not a very big community right here, but the people who are there are amazing, and um, there's a lot to learn from them. Like, I've seen a lot of flow artists who have made a career out of flow arts, and that's very inspiring. A lot of people have done flow arts as performing arts and as teachers, and it's something to really look up to, because when a student is actually going through the whole educational phase, you keep thinking, what am I going to do next? What is my future going to look like? Where am I going to, work? Or what am I meant for? It was something for me that I went through when I was like getting out of my 12th standard. Um, and then I really look up to Ceci, because she teaches, she performs, and I saw your page as well, Vajra. They teach online. You guys teach, and that is so inspiring. Because I felt like after seeing this community online, I felt like flow arts has scope in India. It's not completely blank. There is scope if you actually go in it. There is scope. That's very inspiring, and I think a lot of youngsters who are into this field and who are into dancing, into hula hooping or flow arts can learn a lot from Indian flow artists, because a lot of you guys have actually been successful, and that's amazing. That's lovely. Because when I started back then, I didn't know. I like my parents kept asking me, "Is this all you want to do in life? Is it only hula hooping, or there's more to it? Like, are you gonna do something else?" But then I said, I showed them that there are so many other successful people out there, and they've actually made up a career. They've made a life out of flow arts, and that's amazing. And some of them are not just into flow arts; they're doing other things as well. Like they have a professional life, like a work job, everything, and they're also known as a flow artist as well. So that's amazing. Especially another person to mention is Supriya. She has her own brand, as well as she is a flow artist. So that's really inspiring. I really look up to that. It's
Did you
amazing.
did you watch the episode with Supriya?
I did get a glimpse of it, yes. I went through a bit of it.
What did you think about it?
Amazing, yeah. Very inspiring, honestly. And she has so much of experience, and she's quite older to me. I'm still 18, so it's really nice to see somebody who can actually give you that good advice. And it's very nice to see her talk about it. And she has a lot of plans for our community, and she's doing so much for her community. That is so cool. Even Tejaswini, she's a doctor, plus she is a flow artist as well. That's amazing. Yeah. Superb.
Tejaswini, what's her Insta handle?
Just slay with Teju. Yes. So these are a few people who really inspired me, actually. Now that I think about it,
Do you have emotional, like super extra emotional moments with hula hoop, with your hoop?
my gosh. Yes, I do.
No, because
Um,
speaking about expression and speaking about like, feeling blah and then feeling great. So, like, clearly, there's a lot of physiological change that comes into our body and our brain also.
Yes. So
Like,
I'll explain two emotions that I have experienced, and they're like really close to me. One is sad, one is very happy. So the happiest I am is when I'm performing on stage with my hula hoops. I am so happy at that moment. I am, I just express all my happiness and all my emotions through my art, and that's what makes my performance the best. Every time I perform on stage, I am so happy and I can be so flowy and graceful because I'm feeling that actually. And that's how it actually shows through my performance. Now, two places where I have experienced real sadness because of very. So I have these two hula hoops that were really close to me. Okay, like just these two hoops, like pieces of circles. And there was this one which I started my hula hoop journey with. Okay. And this another hula hoop, which was also a part of my journey because I performed my first performance with. So there were these two hula hoops. This one time I had a performance and I had carried that hoop with me. And after my performance, a lot of kids came along and they wanted to try out hula hooping. And that one hula hoop, I took it aside and I kept it at the back so that nobody touches it. It's mine. You can't touch it. So the rest of the hula hoops, I gave it to the students, everybody, the kids, and they were playing with it, and I was completely fine. You throw it, you do anything. Just that hula hoop is safe at the back. After everything, I went to take my hoop. It wasn't there. I was devastated. I was like, shit, no way, I cannot. And then I started searching at the entire venue. We were not able to find it. So that was one place where I was devastated because I had such emotional bonding with that hula hoop and I couldn't find it. And that was very sad. Like, I cried a lot that day. Yeah, this another time was at the NCC camp where one of my hula hoop, the second one, for one of our activities, I came a bit late. And when I reached there, I saw everybody playing with my hoops. And then I was like, oh shit, I hope that hoop is safe. I don't care about the rest of the hoops. And there were like these two boys who were like playing with the hoop. That one hula hoop, it was a red. It was a very beautiful hoop. And I said, like, please give it to me, please give it to me. And then they both started fighting between each other and they broke my hoop. They just broke it. I was like, oh my god, no. So that was another.
where's my stuff?
That was another place where I was so devastated. I was like, nah. And then I didn't look at these boys for like a while. I didn't even.
I can kind of relate to that because this one time I lost a fire poi
Oh my
because I was
goodness.
traveling and I forgot it somewhere, and I was
Hmm.
like, damn, I'm never gonna see that fire poi again. So I was like, oh, I kind of miss my partner somehow.
We always have this comfort with, even though we have like many of the props, like multiple of that one type of prop, but then there's one that is like really, you're so comfortable with it. It's not the same with all of them. There's always that one pair. Yeah.
Yeah, I realized after losing a few props like that, I was like, okay, it's not good to feel so attached to your props.
Yeah, true, true, true. Now also I try my best to not be that attached with my hoops because a lot of times I have to share my hoops with a lot of kids and adults while I'm taking my workshops. So I just be like, okay, they're just hoops.
It's for everyone.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sure that the props that I lost on the way found someone else who could use them. Keep it up. Uh, you're doing a great job. Like, I'm sure, like, already you are a great inspiration for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. And
Thank you.
I hope that people can get some valuable, wonderful information from today's interview.
Thank you so much.
And I hope you also had a lot of fun and you enjoyed the.
Yes, it was lovely sharing. Really lovely.
Yeah, and I think it was the longest time that we ever spoke. So I also got to know a lot about you and who would you like to see on the interview next?
I think I would like to see Tejaswini and Ceci or Ceci. Yeah, I want to know more about them. Yeah, they're very inspiring for me. I really look up to them. I've already seen Supriya up here, and that was amazing.
Thank you so much, Sheena,
Thank you so much
for
for
your
having
time
me.
and coming on Flow Point and sharing your perspective and your point of view about flow arts and how it's such a wonderful thing for us to have in our life. And we
Yeah,
would like to share it to the world. Um, thanks a lot. And
thank you so much for having me here. Bye. I hope to see you soon in person.
let's meet and create and create.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Sheena.
you.
Let's
Bye. See you.
we did it.
Yeah.